Ladies and gentlemen, we have no major order at the moment, but that doesn't mean we can't do something. So if you look over here, there's 147,000 Helldivers currently active in the Draco sector, and we've got 25,000 active in the Mirren sector. Now, we're controlling the Terminids, aren't we? So why are we here? What is the point of this? Okay, well, you might be trying to complete your personal order, kill 2 Bile Titans. I get that. But why not prepare for what could potentially come? Why not get over here to the Tsar sector, get your arse down to DRAUPNIR, and get this liberated? That's my major order. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Let's make it happen. Okay, this comes as shock to absolutely nobody out there on planet Super Earth. Helldivers 2 is selling extremely well. In fact, it's selling like hotcakes. Tons of copies are being sold. However, look at this, right? So this was actually taken from the 12th of February. So this is very close to the launch of the game. Helldivers 2 defies studio expectations after selling 1 million copies. The shooter hit 360,000 concurrent players across PC and PlayStation 5. This is from game developers. So this is a pretty good launch, right? They didn't expect this. I'm pretty sure that 1 million copies was probably the goal for the game. If they could make 1 million, then I think the devs and the studio would be happy. They'd probably recover or recoup their initial investment on the game, and this would let them work on maybe Helldivers 3 or a different project for a couple more years. However, we all know that's not entirely what happened because things went absolutely nuclear. But as we all know, things went absolutely nuclear for the game. So VGC actually reporting this. Sony's breakout hit Helldivers 2 has likely sold more than 8 million copies since its release last month, a market analyst said. And as I've said, this is no shock to anybody. Literally everybody seems to be playing this game. So, I mean, this doesn't really come as a shock that it's absolutely blown away sales expectations. But where is this info coming from? Well, we can do a breakdown of this, but this is the intro, I guess, to it. That's according to TD Cohen analyst Doug Kruitz, who wrote in a note this week via Bloomberg that this figure is likely growing every week. We believe the game has performed well ahead of expectations. Sony has not released official figures for the co-op shooter, but Helldivers 2 has regularly exceeded 430,000 concurrent players on Steam per SteamDB. In the UK, we know Helldivers was the best-selling game in February thanks to GSD data published on GameIndustry.biz. Bucking the trend, the Sony-published shooter saw its sales grow each week after its release on February the 8th. The PS5 version of Helldivers 2 accounted for 57% of its sales in the UK last month, with the remainder coming on PC. Now, that's the critical thing we've got to remember here. 57% of sales were on the PS5. So there's actually more than half of the sales are actually on the PS5. Now, the data I'm about to show you guys, I believe, is only from the PC version. So, in fact, you can double that and add a bit more. But let's just, for argument's sake, say double it. And probably that's where we're going to get to the current player figure of Helldivers 2, which I believe is around 16 million. So, let's take a look at this. This is SteamDB. Now, this is a website which tracks how many people are playing on Steam because, of course, you can see player figures on Steam. All of this data is publicly available, so this is really great for gauging the popularity of a game. Now, this image is literally taken at 9 a.m. In the morning in the UK, and you can see there's 166,000 people across the world playing Helldivers 2 a pretty unsociable hour, not just for the UK, but for quite a lot of the world. Yeah, and at a 24-hour peak of 362,000. Now, remember, this is just on Steam. Now, if we take the 57% figure to be true, that 57% of the sales in the UK were on PS5, and extrapolate that out across the world, which I know you can't do exactly, but if we'll just say, okay, so 57% of sales are on PS5, 43% of sales are on PC, we can just double this number right now, and we can say, well, actually, there's over 320,000 people playing this game right now, or 316,000 would that be? Basically over 300,000 playing the game right now. You can essentially double the figures, and this is insane. But what is also insane is the way this game is maintaining the number of players. So these are some owner estimations here taken by SteamDB. Now, these are from various companies that track analytics from Steam. So you've got Play Tracker, Gamealytics, VG Insights, and Steam Spy. And VG Insights is the one we're focusing on because it seems to be the more accepted one in the industry. Like Steam Spy seems to have gone crazy there, saying 27 million copies have been sold on Steam. Maybe that's true, but probably it isn't. If it is, that's crazy. So if we drill down onto the VG Insights stats, we'll see this, right? So their quick stats say there's 163,000 active players as of 64 minutes ago, as of when I took this screenshot, like I said, about 9 a.m. UK time. 357,000 active in the last 24 hours is the peak. 82.6% positive reviews. Here's the thing, 284.2 million gross revenue. Now, of course, that isn't profit, and they're estimating nearly 9 million copies sold there. So the figures might be even more than what we were thinking. In fact, actually, it's more than 16 million. It might be approaching nearly 20 million copies sold. So maybe that stat of 27.9 million might be true if you include PS5. But that figure's just based off Steam sales, which I think is a bit weird. I don't know where they've got that number from. But anyway, this is really, really good. I reckon they have projections. They probably hope to make about $40 million, maybe at a higher end from Helldivers 2. In fact, they've already made nearly $300 million. This is going to supercharge Arrowhead. It's absolutely going to supercharge them. It's going to be... What are they going to do next with this? It's insane. I hope they ramp up development for Helldivers 2. I mean, this is just so cool. It's such a cool success story in this day and age of these games that are just platforms to sell you content. Helldivers comes out and says, no. And of course, it's not the first game to do this, right? Power World has said that this year. Enshrouded has said that this year. And there'll be more games that come out and say that. No. These are games that are made by people with a passion for making games that want to innovate, that want to push the boundaries and make a good game. So what about the historical data? Now, this is the max daily concurrent players over the last month. So it's from February the 16th until essentially March the 16th. I know it's the 17th if you're watching this video the day it went live. But it doesn't really matter about the dates because look at that graph. This graph is not going down. For most major releases, you'll have the big spike at the start and then the graph would go down. This isn't. This apparently has got the fancy name an inverse decay curve because it's not decaying. You can maybe say, okay, it's gone down a little bit, it looks like, but it's not much. And that is a very, very high player retention rate. Because you have to think, once people blast through to level 50 and maybe they've had their fill and they're waiting for new content to come, they are going to drop away from the game. You're not going to just play the game every day forever. I mean, that's insane to think of any game. Drop in games, have fun, drop out, move on to whatever else you want to do. But I think this is a testament to just how innovative this game is and how this game makes it feel awesome when you're just playing the game, or rather makes you feel awesome, yeah? This is just a great graph. I think a lot of money people out there for massive AAA game studios be looking at this going, oh, Lord, why don't we have this? And we might get an influx of 4-player co-op shooters now. Maybe Microsoft will go, hey, Blizzard, we need to start up our PvE system again and make a proper PvE. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. Of course, what they should be taking away from this is, no, you first and foremost make a fantastic game that players will resonate with and is just a really well-made, really good game. And then you can worry about monetization, and then you can worry about player retention. Because if your game's bad, people are not going to play it. You cannot sex up the game to try and, obscure people from the fact that things are not great. You just give them a great game. They'll play your game, and then guess what? They'll spend money on your game. That's how things work. Okay, so talking of if your game's bad, oh dear, we need to take a look at this. So this post over on Reddit, this has not happened to me yet. I know somebody this has happened to, and at the time it was pretty funny. It was like, wow, what's happened? They didn't really know. They thought the game had bugged out. However, it looks like this is a lot more sinister. So this post says, I am level 29. I just joined a level 5 player to farm some flamethrower kills. After extracting, the overview looked like that. I've got max samples now of all types. Way to ruin the game for everybody else. And you guys can see from the screenshot, this mission resulted in 2,997 of every single sample type. Hilariously, it only resulted in 2 medals and the standard number of requisition, it looks like, and XP. So, or is that standard requisition? Is it? Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But the point here is the samples, right? This is the problem. What is going on here? Well, if you drill down into this a little bit, it looks like what's happening. I mean, by all means, I don't know this to be accurate or true or fact. But Helldivers 2 is an online game. So things which are handled by the servers that you're connecting to, you cannot manipulate that data. You know, there are checks in place. Again, this is like an idiot's explanation of this. I don't fully understand it myself. But the server, what you connect to, has got safeguards in place to stop you from sending it fake data. It has to verify the data. And if it can't verify it, it'll say, no, that's wrong. It won't accept it. However, it looks like samples are potentially the exception to this. And what might be happening is people are editing their game files as they're playing missions. Because for some reason, Helldivers could potentially be waiting for you to tell it how many samples you got at the end of the mission, and then it just goes, okay, confirmed. It doesn't actually say, hold on, you can't collect that many samples on a mission. Now, this might be some sort of programming oversight by Helldivers 2 itself, which I'm sure they will fix, or it might just be some, client-side thing which can't be fixed, in which case that's not great. However, this is cheating. I've got to be very clear to you guys, this is cheating, and this destroys the fun of the game. You are out here trying to collect samples, and trying to collect super samples is part of the fun on the harder difficulty missions, looking for that sort of chicken drumstick shaped rock. Like, you want to find that thing, get the super samples. So if you just get them all from one mission, this isn't great. I would hope Helldivers support will actually find games where players have received a massive number of samples and remove them. Maybe they can't tell, because if it's client side, they might not be able to tell, because the server's got no record of doing it. If the server has record of confirming the amount of samples, then maybe there's something they can do. But yeah, this is saying it's sinister is a bit over the top, but it's not great. This ruins the game. If you happen to join the game and this happens, you might think, wow, what the hell has happened? And think, great, I can get all the upgrades. But then very quickly, you'll be like, oh, that's kind of ruined the game, because it was sort of the point of the game. Anyway, if you are doing this, I would be worried. I would expect that you might have action taken against you by Arrowhead, which would probably result in account termination, because it is hacking. I don't think I can possibly humanly agree with this anymore. Dear Arrowhead, can we stop with these 100% call-in time and 50% cool-down increase effects for stratagems? Please. And then goes on to say, seriously, dear masochist developers, Joel, whoever designs that, we had a few days of playing the major order on a few planets, and all those stupid modifiers were turned off. It was great. But here's the thing. They can still have these, can't they? But if they do this, then I think this would be great. And this actually would make a lot of sense. This user, Blood for Corn, great name, says this. It would be fun if you could get rid of the restrictions by doing some objectives. Like for the increased call-in, cooldown ones, you can bring down a signal booster in a specified area to get rid of the effect. And for the one that gives you one less stratagem, well, actually, that's because High Command wanted a flag on a random hill somewhere, so you get to pick a fourth one, but when you land, it gets replaced by the Super Earth flag drop, and you have to raise it on that hill, and then you can use your fourth stratagem. The things like Stalker layers and artillery pieces are loads of fun, and I think there should be more of them. Yes, 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 this is the thing, isn't it? So we already have stuff like this, where the stratagem blocker thing for the automatons, you blow that up, then you get your stratagems back and you can use them. So I don't see why they can't extend that to some of these more global effects that they just apply to missions to make them more difficult. Because let's be realistic here. When you've got 100% call-in time or like a 50% cooldown increase on stratagems, that just feels crap because it messes with the flow of the game. This is the thing, right? You're used to your stratagems being available. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, I don't have a stratagem. Why? Oh, yeah, because it's actually 100% delayed. It doesn't feel great. The Helldivers should have a way of dealing with that. By all means, put it at the start of a mission, and then it becomes like a mini objective. If you want to make that mission easier or less stressful, then go and find these objectives and take them out so you can actually get your cooldowns back to how they should be. And I agree with that. I think that will be a cool change and a very good change for the game. And I also agree with the fact that there should be more of these like Stalker layer kind of objectives all over the map. I mean, Stalker layers send me crazy because the Stalkers, I don't know what it is with them, but they just appear. Well, I guess they're Stalkers, right? And I suppose they are invisible. But they just appear and just destroy me without me even knowing they're there. I'm like, what the hell? Although I will say this, I think the Hunter, the sort of smaller version of the Stalker, is probably more effective at killing Helldivers. Because if you get two of them on you, one hits you and staggers you, the next one jumps on you, you're basically dead. So it's like, what? They're super annoying to kill. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know about all of this in the comments below. So thanks for watching. And yeah, just I don't know, just tell me how you enjoying the game, what's going on, what's your favorite loadouts, all of that good stuff. And hopefully we get a new major order, I reckon, probably coming in on Monday. We'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. See you soon.